Greetings, you're listening to and/or watching Cantus Firmus, and this video is called Breaking Ourselves of Our Breaking Bad Politics. My wife and I recently rewatched the TV show Breaking Bad. If you're not familiar with the show, it's about a high school chemistry teacher who starts making crystal meth after a cancer diagnosis, ostensibly to provide for his family after his death. But once his cancer is in remission and he's earned more money than he could have dreamed of, he continues to build his meth empire, leaving many dead bodies in his path. So as a Christian, I believe in this theological notion called depravity, that even though humans are made in the image of God, there's also a crookedness in us, that we aren't just inherently good people. So when I watched the show, I perceived very early on that the meth-making chemistry teacher, Walter White, was lying to himself and others when he said he was doing what he was doing only begrudgingly, just to take care of his family. So I wasn't surprised at this revelation very late in the series. My wife, however, when she first watched the show, naturally saw White as the protagonist. Anyone who stood in the way of him achieving his goals, from rival drug dealers to his long-suffering wife, the woman who dared to say, hey, maybe you should stop making meth and killing people, were necessarily antagonists, and they were seen that way by the vast majority of viewers. But her perception changed during our second watch, because second time around, she began with the assumption that he was actually the antagonist of his life, as well as the lives of those around him. But, as Arlo Guthrie once said, that's not what I'm here to tell you about. In the last couple months, conservative political pundit Jonah Goldberg was a guest on the podcast, The Fifth Column, and the subject came around, as it often does nowadays, to President Trump. He observed that most people follow politics as a form of entertainment. And in entertainment, you're told who the protagonists are, who the good guys are, and then you judge the other cast of characters accordingly. So, for instance, if you'd already seen the left as the bad guys, politically speaking, and then the right as the good guys, when Trump comes on the scene, you would have placed him in the good guy slot, even if he didn't fit the conservative hero mold and was thus more of a flawed anti-hero, a Rorschach or something from Watchmen. The problem, of course, with this approach is that even if the left are bad guys, even if they are bad guys, perhaps in the vein of Walter White's rival meth manufacturers, it doesn't follow that Trump, the right's Walter White, is the good guy. He's still a self-centered monster doing whatever he can to further his own goals and satisfy his ego. If building a meth empire on the backs of innocents is evil when drug kingpin Tuco Salamanca does it, it's also evil when Walter White does it. And if the left is using the power of the state to restrict liberty and punish the perpetrators of victimless crimes, and that's evil, it's also evil when Trump and the right do it. We need to break our addiction to this Breaking Bad style politics and have enough faith that good will prevail to do the right thing instead of the Walter White thing.